teams are ready. The crowd are watching right now. And everything they have worked for comes down to this. No more warm-ups, no more second chance. It's time to drop in. It's time to fight for the trophy. This is Free Fire Grand Finals! Crazy, but we have finally reached the Grand Finals.
This is the first time we're seeing in Free Fire history that nobody really knows who's going to be walking away with the championship.
ผมไม่ได้อยากปกป้องแชมป์ครับผมแค่อยากจะทำให้แรปนี้เป็นแรปที่ดีที่สุดแล้วก็สร้างประวัติศาสตร์ของผมเพิ่มมาอีกก็คือแชมป์ผมจะทำให้ได้แชมป์อีกรอบ Pokoknya gue bakal bikin kalian merinding lah di final nanti. Di tahun 2025 ini kita bisa jadi juara di EWC. ก็มาที่นี่เพราะอยากได้แชมป์อยู่แล้วเพราะเราจะทำให้เต็มที่แล้วเอาแชมป์กลับประเทศไทย
Inshallah احنا اللي رح نرفع الكاس. Levantaremos el trofeo.
A gente vai ganhar, a vitória é nossa.
It's kill or be killed. Be killed.
And now General's team is just so unrelenting.
Falcons are just way too strong.
Incredible game coming from this team.
This is the way you can go if you want to lift the trophy.
Racers, they rally, and that's the Booyah.
There's no way Russo is taken out.
Dominating. Really looking for a loss. What an incredible game coming from
Team Falcon destroyed. It's the finals day. Therefore, only one key can fit in that trophy. Free Fire at the Esports World Cup 2025. This is the
Welcome back, bye brother. কেমন আছেন?
and we are on champion rush.
EWC final, Grand Final
matches ahead
আজকে
of
দ্বিতীয়
all of
দিনের
us
ম্যাচ।
today. It could end as early as 4 as well.
দেখা যাক
And nothing is
কারা কি
granted.
করতে পারে ভাই।
Everything is earned. It's your boys Mustachio and Husky
12 কোটি
back
টাকার
on the
টুর্নামেন্ট
desk. Let's
ভাই,
rock it,
জিতলে তো
baby.
পুরো
Let's
কপাল
rock
মিলে গেছে।
one more grand final,
দেখা যাক কে
second year
জিতে।
in a row at the EWC 25 stage. And I gotta say,
আমার তো মনে হয়
champion rush
ফেলকনটা ভালো
plus
কিছু
point
একটা
rush was something that we
ওদের
did
জন্য
not
মানে
expect.
দেওয়া করে
But
ভালো খেলে
I think we have accepted the fact
দেখা যাক
that
ভাই
there
কে
is going
কি
to be a lot of
করতে পারে।
surprises
এই
today.
বেটা
Even
ইংলিশে
competing
না
for
গিয়ে
yesterday,
বাংলাতে কইতে
for
পারে।
memory,
বাহ,
Esports
দিল্লি
X
পড়ে না
KOG
ইংলিশে।
with a 10-point head start today. R7, movie star R7. There's a chance that Latam
জায়গায়
claims their
প্রতিটা
first
টিমই
international
এক্সপেরিয়েন্স হয়,
trophy.
প্রতিটা টিমই
But we
দক্ষ
cannot
হয়,
forget
প্রতিটা টিম
EVOS
ভালো
Divine,
খেলে।
EVOS Esports in this case, they're back for blood.
দেখা যাক ভাই
Absolutely,
কি
man. The
হয়।
Wonder Kid Rasia today,
আজকেই
the 20th of July,
মানে
is
ফাইনালের রাস্তা
exactly
খুলে যাবে।
1 month
দেখা
short
যাক
of his 3-year
কারা ফাইনালে
anniversary
কোয়ালিফাই
with
করতে
EVOS
পারে।
Esports. This is chess. EVOS Esports, they are the grand masters of Free Fire. They were planning this move 3 years ahead. This kid was acquired, this kid was trained, this kid was given everything possible to be the beast that he is right now. They acquired him at the age of 13. He's 16 this year, finally eligible to compete on the world stage, and he is rocking it. The MVP of MVPs, and he's got the cheekiest smile of them all out there. We saw Fluxo earlier farming a little bit of aura, but you know that one comes from Indonesia, and who else that's going to be better to farm all of that aura than the Wonder Kid himself? But of course, you know, we talked a little bit about point rush yesterday. The 4 teams that walked away with the points are the teams that needed it the most. I would say EVOS is the one that leads it the least because they know how to score those big points, but it's all about the underdogs. The big boys, they stepped aside yesterday.
They did. Brazilian teams not part of the equation,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
They finished bottom 6. Unfortunately, lost. Fluxo, Pain Gaming. I mean, Fluxo, we sort of saw it coming. They didn't really have the best knockout stage, but we were expecting Lost to really tear it up, and they could not do it. Vitality is the biggest underdog from the Indonesian region. If there's any team that you look at that you want to support who are not the Kings of Kings or the Tigers of Indonesia, Vitality is going to be your pick, but it's not going to be easy because for some of these players, it has been exactly 371 days since they were first on the stage.
Absolutely. And of course, EVOS at one point, they were the champions of the world. That was way back in 2019, right? But of course, 6 years later, can they get it done? Or will it be a underdog squad out there? One of those that we least suspect to make that move. Dragon Esports, I did not expect to see them in Point Rush in the grand finals. I did not expect to see them do so well. But of course, we've actually got a interview here that we'd like to throw you guys over to. Husky and I will be back with you in a second.
Hello, our survivors. I'm Yoso, and welcome to the grand finals today of Free Fire at AWC 25. Right next to me here is Vix and Koja, comes from Team Vitality. Okay, so let's jump into a few questions, shall we? Alright, everyone. So for Dix, yesterday you guys seem to be like having a little struggle in the corner stage and only managed to get one booyah at the end of the match. So do you think that today you guys will having the same issues for today or no?
Oke, jadi pertanyaan pertama tentunya di sini buat tim Vitality kemarin sedikit mengalami kesulitan ya pada saat bermain di Point Rush dan kalian baru bisa mendapatkan buyah di map terakhir gitu. Kira-kira apakah kalian bakal mengalami kesulitan yang sama hari ini atau kalian sudah ada strategi tentunya buat dari hari ini?
Kalau hari ini pastinya kita nggak bakal kesulitan karena hari kemarin kita sempat kayak coba-coba buat keluar dulu gimana buat adaptasi kemarin di match 1 sampai 5.
ভাই যারা যারা আছেন দয়া করে প্লিজ ব্রাদাররা সাবস্ক্রাইবটা করে দেন আমি আপনার ভাইয়ের মতো ভাই সাবস্ক্রাইবটা করে দেন
I don't think we will have much trouble as
Hello, my
yesterday.
brother, subscribe করে like
To be
দিয়ে
honest,
দেন
yesterday we also trying a lot of things and we're also trying to read a lot of the opponent team how they're gonna play. So I feel like we have a good strategy and a good mindset on how to play today.
So I think yesterday is just a test, right? And today everything will go smooth. For second question, Koja, Team Vitality has been seen as one of the contenders for quite some time. What are you guys doing differently today to help you attain the
হ্যালো ভাইরা
championship?
লাইকটা করে দেন লাইকটা করে চ্যানেলটা সাবস্ক্রাইব করে দেন হ্যালো ভাই ব্রাদাররা সাবস্ক্রাইব করতে কি নিয়ে তোমাদের সম্পত্তি চলে যাইব না সাবস্ক্রাইব করে দেন
di tahun ini. Dan menurut kalian apa sih yang kalian lakukan secara berbeda dibanding dengan tim-tim lain dan juga cara kalian untuk bisa menjadi juara di tahun ini?
Yang pertama-tama ya kita pasti minta restu dulu ke orang tua buat kita juara, semoga didoain gitu. Terus yang kedua palingan ya kita kompak lah buat tim mau susah mau senang
কি
jadi
করে
kita
ওয়াঙ্গা নাতি কি কও
I think what we're doing differently is that our teamwork. I think we
তোমরা
have
কিভাবে বুঝতেছো কি
better
করে
teamwork than everyone else, and we're just in it together, whether it's a hard time or just like a struggling time. And the second thing is that we just want a blessing from our parents and our teams and our fans as well that we can actually win this.
Oh, that's very cute to listen to that. Alright, everyone, since today is our grand finals day, only one last day. Who will become the champion? Keep continue to
আজকের পরে
cheer for your
কালকে
favorite
মনে হয়
team.
ফাইনাল
You're
ভাই
new fatalities, but
সেই
you
একটা
can
খেলা
always
হবে
cheer for
গ্র্যান্ড
everyone.
ফাইনালে
12
আজকে
teams
ভাই
right
সারা
here at
কুপা
Free
খুঁজে
Fire,
নিয়েছে ভাই
AWC 25. See you guys later, and good luck to all of you guys today.
ডংনাগরা ম্যাচ স্টার্ট
Once more, Team Vitality dubbed as a contender, but at the same time an underdog of their own region.
Oh,
3 out of the 4 surviving teams from Indonesia who made it through knockouts, barring Onyx Esports. But on this grand stage, this is where they get put to the test. Even before they were Team Vitality, when they were still Biggotron Esports, they were known as the Falcon Slayers. But ever since they stepped into the Falcon's nest, that has not been the case.
Not been the case at all, but of course they have grown from just being the Falcon Slayers, the Falcon Hunters, to being champs in their own accord. They have stepped up their gameplay, but can they take a trophy home to prove that they're true champions at the end of the day? Definitely one of the underdogs. They have
So
got
guys,
a little bit of extra confidence now since they were put onto a platform and raised up to the occasion. So I just want to see exactly what Vitality can do with this. Right? They've got a few points here out of Point Rush as well. A little bit of head start does not hurt. It's just 3 points though. But we know on the grand stage like this, at the world stage, 3 points can mean the world sometimes.
And we have seen teams that started the grand finals without any head start points go on to win the whole thing. And in this case, with I noticed a bit of a pattern because a lot of times for the past 5 years when we go into a grand finals, the first team we will talk about is always Buriram United Esports. But I think that team has slowly faded from the headlines of the conversation, and for good reason, right? Teams are catching up to BRU. They definitely aren't coming into this grand finals as strong as a lot of people would expect them to, and some of the people, the sentiments out there, would even go as far as to say that they don't think BRU is going to win it all.
I most definitely would agree with them as well, right? Not just because they have not been showing up very strong, it's because of the other teams who are really calling them out of their place. Some of the teams literally hunting down Buriram United Esports very early on in these games. But in that same category, we can lump in your two-time world champs, Fluxo. They are no longer looking like the most threatening squad out of Brazil. Lost out of nowhere. Don't seem very lost out there anymore. Granted, from their local region, Fluxo still are the top dogs out there. But Lost has been looking so clean with their gameplay here at the knockout stage.
Not only that, we also had that slight patch on the 1st of July. The Tatsuya nerf definitely brought in some impacts and affected some of the teams that wanted to be aggressive. I think BRU is a very good example. But this also shows us that this meta shift could potentially benefit the Indonesian teams who like to play a slightly more strategic, more smart. They don't really care too much about being in the heat of battle every single second. Maybe that little blessing is what's going to make the Indonesians feel a lot more relief. But for Fluxo, for the longest of times, even behind the scenes before the knockout stage began, I talked about I didn't really like how slow they played. I feel like it's really hurting themselves more than it's benefiting them. We've seen that play out throughout the knockout stage. We've seen that play out into the Point Rush. Right now, they have a potential of 10 games to make it right, but I don't know if they can adapt to it.
And for the first time ever, we have got some representation here at the grand finals for Saudi Arabia. Dragons Esports, not the heaviest hitters out there, but shockingly accurate with their circle reads, getting into the final zone time and time again. You know, one of the teams, in fact, they are the team with the most number of top threes, and that is absolutely unbelievable. Where they do lack though is those firepower, getting in those shots, pulling away the eliminations. But if they can repeat their circle hunting once again here today, I'm pretty sure a decent amount of this prize will awaits them.
And it's a good time to also remind everyone, but for Dragon Esports, this is their very first international debut. None of these players have ever played on a stage such big with stakes so high, and it just happens to be the Esports World Cup. And the fact that they made it to top 12 with some help from Team Falcons, of course, in the final round of knockouts is already mad impressive.
Oh yeah.
Do I expect them to win? No, of course not. But I expect them to continue showing us that genius, that brilliance of reading the circle and making smart rotation and taking fights only when needed.
I know, right? LATAM almost had another representative in Vision System, but of course we've got Tash Bunny and AdMats awaiting us. They've got a little bit of an update. Let's see exactly what they have to say.
Hello survivors, welcome to Free Fire at Esports World Cup 2025 final stage.
And today we're in front of the contenders' key wall where all of the team's keys are currently being displayed. And as you know, over at EWC, nothing is granted, everything is earned. And at EWC, no competition is as ruthless as this, and this includes the trophy system. Every team earns a key and grades their name, and that's their right to compete. The game trophy is not complete until it's sealed with the champion's key, and only one team can place their key into the trophy and become an EWC champion. Then, the frame of the champion's key is embedded into the totem, a symbol of legacy displaying every champion of the year.
The keys of the eliminated are crushed. The champion then selects 3 keys as a personal token, a reminder of those they have humbled. And a resin block beneath the totem holds those crushed keys, and the club championship trophy is awarded to the one club that rose above the rest and reigns supreme across all EWC games. Let's see who's gonna win today and be crowned champions for Free Fire at EWC 2025.
It's all for the marbles, ladies and gentlemen. We once more have a potential of 10 maximum rounds ahead of us, but if one team speed runs the finals, we could end in 4, but I personally prefer to have a long and eventful night. We've come this far. I don't want it to end in 4 rounds.
I don't know. I don't disagree with you, but at the same time, I don't, absolutely agree with you. That's exactly what Champion Rush is all about. Who can rush to the championship as quickly as possible, as accurate as possible, with their aim for the final circle as well as the booyah when they truly need it. Because at the Southeast Asian finals, we saw Buriram unlocking the Champion Rush condition, 80 points, and then not being able to close the game. And an underdog squad from Indonesia went on to win the whole championship, and that is Onyx. And unfortunately, that luck didn't last very long. They didn't even make it past Point Rush to be here at the grand finals. But of course, as we kick off game number 1 out of potential 10 here, we start things off at Bermuda, and this map is usually conquered by the Southeast Asian squads.
First of all, we have to look at the drop spots. Nothing out of the ordinary so far, and it's been quite a while since we see the teams actually play give proper respect to one another.
Yeah.
No hot drop, no huntings, no R7 is not coming out with shenanigans and hot dropping Dragon Esports like they did in Point Rush. Peak taken by Buriram again. Fluxo getting factory and Pochinok, everything going as planned. AGAL having a long rotation potential again as Sentosa. Some scuffles happening very early on. A bounty put out onto General from Lost, but so far no knocks yet.
নামার সাথে সাথে হিটলিস্ট মেলা দিছে কে কিরা রে ভাই এটা কোনো কাম করলো
All zip lines lead you to peak, and who's
ওরে ভাই
Buriram? My goodness, we lost finding an early one here onto RRQ, but we know the Indonesians are always
আর কিউর একটা টিম মেম্বারকে হারিয়ে ফেলেছে তারা দেখা যাক কি হয় তাদের কপালে কি আছে গাইস আমরা দেখতে
RRQ is
পাচ্ছি
actually one of the
ওরে ভাই ফেলকনরা কই ভাই ফেলকনরা কিছু খেলা দেখা
shouldn't be a huge problem for them at the
আর
end of the day.
কিউর একটা
As you can
মেম্বার
see,
এখনো
they're
ডাউন
already
পেয়ে
with
গেছে
800
দেখা যাক
coins
কি
in his
হয়
hands,
তারা কি
looking for
খেলতে পারে
200
তাদের
more
টিমের
at the
জন্য
cost
গাইস
of Haral, who does manage to get away, and thankfully does manage to pick up a gun that can match up to what Duts is pulling in
ওরে
as
শালা
well.
এই যে দেখেন ফেলকনরা এদের একজন টিম মেম্বারকে হারিয়ে
And we
ফেলেছে
are also seeing
ফেলকন
signs of teams
ও ভাই আবার রিয়েল
players
দিয়ে দিচ্ছে
getting
সাথে
down
সাথে
and dirty
ফেলকনরা
early on. Rigby with another collection. That's point number 2
ও
for Lost.
ভাই ফেলকনদের আরেকজন টিম মেম্বার ডাউন ফেলকনদের আজকে পুরাই খারাপ চলতেছে দেখা যাক ওরা কি আয় ভাই আবারও ধীরে ধীরে কমপ্লিট হয়ে গেছে ফেলকনদের দেখা যাক কারা কি করতে পারে তাদের এই যে দেখেন ভিআইটি অলরেডি 3টা কিল কমপ্লিট হয়ে গেছে লসের 2টা কিল করে নিচ্ছে এবং সবাই কিল দিল ও ভাই আকাশে সিটি হেডশট কেমনে কি ভাই মারাত্মক লেভেলের হেডশট
Yeah, but that's classic Buriram, right? Putting out the bounty onto a player from Fluxo only means that they get to track their movements.
আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি ভয়ঙ্কর লেভেলের গেম প্লে দেখা যাক ভাই ইডব্লিউসির ফাইনালের 12 কোটি টাকা কার কপালে জুটে আর কারা ভাই কান্না করে ঘুরে ফিরে দেখা যাক ভাই সবাই একটা ভালো গেম প্লে দিবে এবং সবার কাছে ভালো কিছুই আমরা আশা করি দেখা যাক
Counter to this at this very point of time, allowing GU to hold back as the rest of them continue.
ভাই ফেলকনদের অবস্থা পুরাই বাজে ফেলকনদের 2টা টিমের বাইচে আছে
Could just be the biggest surprise for Buriram, but I highly doubt Buriram
ও ভাই দেখতেছেন কি লেভেলের পারফেক্ট লোকেশনটা জানে দেখেন শুধু একটা বার
was going to come in here to
এরাই হচ্ছে আসলে এক্সপেরিয়েন্স প্লেয়ার
very early on. So Buriram can stay put for the time being, but they are not the only team that Buriram needs to worry about. Remember yesterday, R7 also came looking for them at peak.
I was about to bring that out, right? R7 with a very ballsy move to go to peak early and actually flushed out.
ওরে ভাই আর কিউ ভার্সেস ও ভাই কে জিতে লসের একটা প্লেয়ার আর কিউ 2টা প্লেয়ার সামনে ও ভাই ক্লোজে চার্জিং করে দিছেন কিল করে কনফার্ম করে দিছেন নকডাউন করে ভাই এ ভাই এটা কোনো কথা
And just like that, RR
দেখা যাক ভাই আজকে 12 কোটি টাকার যে ফাইনাল ম্যাচটা আছে কার কপালে জুটে এই 12 কোটি টাকা দেখতেছি আমরা ফেলকনদের দুইজন টিমমেট কে আবারও রিভাইভ দেওয়া হয়ে গেছে এবং কি আর7 এর দুইটা টিমমেট গায়েব এবং সিএক্সেরও দুইটা টিমমেট চলে গেছে চাঁদের দেশে। ও ভাই কে ভাই ফাইনাল ম্যাচেও গাড়ি চালাইতেছে, হায় রে হায়, এরা তো মারাত্মক
Vitality getting 5 eliminations.
Empire
He was
দেখা
just
যায়।
picked up 2 members of R7 who got
আবারও
revived back
ফেলকন
onto the map.
তাদের দুইজন
They're
টিম
checking on
মেম্বারকে
Dragon
আবারও
Esports
রিভাইভ দিয়ে
as
দিয়েছে।
well.
দেখা যাক আবার
Playing very,
সিএক্সের
very
একজন
safe, like
টিমমেট
we expected, right? This is a team that is,
আবারও দেখি রিভাইভ
you can
দিয়ে
agree,
দেওয়া হয়েছে।
I think everyone can agree, not the best at gunfight, not the best
ভাই,
at
already
mechanic,
10টা
but
kill
one
হয়ে
thing
গেছে,
they're good at
but
is reading the map. They know how to
এখনো
make rotation,
full
and their survival
48টা alive
instinct is second to none
ময়দানে আছে।
for a team that is on the
দেখা
world stage
যাক
for the
ভাই,
first
কার
time. I
কপালে
think it's
কি
worth
আছে।
highlighting every now and then. They are going to potentially be sandwiched by teams like Core Memory and Vitality, but for now they haven't made any presence just yet, unless Core Memory runs into them.
Yeah, when you're not the strongest fighter on the battlefield, the best thing that you can do is do your homework.
ও ভাই,
Find
পুরো
out
একটা
where
ক্লাস ল্যান্ডিং এ
everybody
চলে
else
গেছে ওরা,
is
দেখা যাক।
and where
এ
everybody else
ভাই,
is.
কেপ টাউনের মতো জায়গায় এরকম ক্লাস ল্যান্ডিং, হায় হায়।
Peter rotating through
কি
their
ভাই,
midst and they did
টিমের
not
একটা
think
টিম
twice.
মেম্বারকে
Shot
মেরে
it
দেওয়া
down
হয়েছে।
instantaneously. Question is, do they now go in for the hunt? Noda staying silent, Cypher and 590 in hand. Noda spotted out. Plays the
bhai,
corner really well.
bhai,
Decent
bhai,
football pulled up by
bhai,
Cypher. And he counter tag
bhai,
as well.
bhai,
Baros comes in
dekha
here
jak
for
bhai,
the bait
dekha
and
jak.
switch. Going in for the shutdown. And Dew is there for the shots as well. The rest of the players
না
from
ভাই,
Fate or
পেনের আরো
Motopia
দুজনকে
helping
ডাউন
them
করে
out
দেওয়া
from
হয়েছে। ওরে
afar.
ভাই, স্নাইপার
Very
ব্যাক টু
effectively
ব্যাক
with the BFK.
Has the air
দেখা যাক
support,
কেমনে কি।
but unfortunately the numbers are dwindling for the side of Pain Gaming.
take it.
Gus having to run away, so AGAL have an advantage. 3-2. Chinoy, Cypher, Baros all gunning for Gus, who is trying to turn the corner, puts out the glue wall on one end, but he's quickly running out of defensive resources. And finally AGL catches up onto him. There's really nothing much that Motopia can do, and Pain Gaming forced to concede.
Very surprisingly
দেখা যাক ভাই, পেনের লাস্ট মেম্বার স্নাইপার প্লেটা বাইজে আছে, দেখা যাক কই আবার পিছনে মুভ করে নিছে, দেখা যাক ভাই, দেখা এ ভাই মুভ করতে পারবে না। এই যে দেখেন আজল সাফিরা চলে এসেছে ওকে মারতে, দেখা যাক কি হয়। আরে ভাই, তখন যাতেন পেন ওয়াইপ আউট, দেখা যাক ভাই, দেখা যাক কার কপালে কি আছে ভাই। পেনরা 2 কিলের সাথে ময়দান আউট হয়ে গেছে, দেখা যাক ফেলকনদের খেলার কি অবস্থা। ফেলকন এবং R7 দুইজনই পুরো একেবারে ক্লোজ টু ক্লোজ ফাইটে ব্যাটলে চলে এসেছে, দেখা যাক কারা কি খেলতে পারে।
Pointed out that they're bigger fans of the classic map than they are of maps like Kalahari or Solara. And in this case, Pain Gaming just got off in the local league maybe.
লো
On the
ভাই
world
ব্রাদার,
stage.
পুরো 11টা
It is
টিমের
pretty tough.
44 জন, এখনো
But
প্রতিটা
AGAL,
টিমের পুরো 4 জন
the fact
করে
that they ended up
বেঁচে
taking
আছে,
out
দেখা
Pain
যাক কারা কি
shows that
খেলে।
they still are sticking to that late rotation on Bermuda. I think Pain Gaming probably didn't
কেউ দেখি
expect
কারোর
it to
উপরে
be
ভাই
the
রিস্ক
case
নিয়ে
coming into
ফাইট
the grand
হইতেছে না,
finals.
দেখা যাক ভাই তারপরে কি হয়, কাদের কপালে কি আছে, কাদের কপালে এই 12 কোটি টাকা আছে আর কাদের কপালে শুধু কান্না করে ঘুরে ফেরা ছাড়া আর কোনো কিছু নাই, দেখা যাক। কি লেভেলের ক্যাম্পার দেখেন, এখনো জোন সাইডে দিছে, কোনো এনিমি নেই, অথচ দেখেন মার্সিলে টিরি হয়ে গেছে। আবার এই যে দেখেন ক্যাপ টাউন আছে, হায় রে হায়।
Fingers crossed though, Pain Gaming has got the capability to pick up those points, very crucial points in game number 2, and that is where they do shine. Purgatory is a place where Pain has showed up quite strongly in the past.
And I do wonder how this would affect the dynamics of teams like Fluxo, who always goes Mars Electric, because game 1 when they did it in the knockout stage, they ran into AGAL, and they were like,
ভাই, দেখা
why are you
যাক
guys
কার
here?
কপালে কি
This was not
আছে।
supposed to be the case. AGL made a bit of diversion, Fluxo on the map making their rotation.
Oh,
and now
bye.
Lost
Closer,
and BRU
details could
fight
fight
head to head.
yeah,
Yeah, big opportunity here for Lost to help out the whole lineup of the Brazilian teams to get rid of a heavy contender for the championship. Buriram looking for Lost very early on, exited.
বুড়িরাম
Of course,
versus
as they try to
Sentinel,
reposition
পুরা
themselves
বুড়িরামরা দেখি
in the
পিছনে মুভ
heart
করতেছে
of
কেন, আমি
this next
বুঝতেছি না
safe
ভাই।
zone. And Buriram not going in for the chase shows you the intention of Buriram, not going for points, just purely going in here for the positioning for the next circle.
Same can be said for Lost.
প্লাসরা
who actually
পিছনে
makes a retreat,
মানে
got
পিছনে
scanned
বেক
out
করে
by
নিছে,
the
কেন যে
Dynamo.
ফাইটটা তারা করলো না
There's no
এটাই আমি
possibility.
বুঝতেছি না
Either
ভাই।
Buriram is tracking them or
ফাইট
RQ
নানের পিছনে
was
মুভ
thinking of
করে
making
নিছে,
a rotation.
বুড়িরামদের সামনে পড়ে গেছিল লসদের, কিন্তু ওরা ফাইট নানের পিছনে আবার বিমা শক্তির রিভে পয়েন্টের টাওয়ারের দিকে উঠে গেছে, দেখা যাক ভাই কি হয় ম্যাচে।
And I think I like the elevation, but RQ.
ভাই কি টাইমে পুরা চলে এসেছে এবং ওরে ভাই লসদের পুরা 12টা বাজিয়ে দিয়েছে ভাই এরা কোনো কাম করলে এমন একটা টাইমে এসে পিছন থেকে থার্ড বারে করেছে ও ভাই লঞ্চটারে দেবার এবং লঞ্চার মেরে রাশ দিয়ে দিচ্ছে দেখা যাক কি হয় না ভাই লসরা মনে হয় ওয়াইপ আউট হয়ে যাবে ভাই
Straight in. The Oscar trying to save him. Has got the charge buster. Just not the gun for him. Better. But he still hits a beautiful headshot. But Rigby so close yet so far. RRQ with the preemptive strike before those revivals could be brought in. The vending machine was right there.
The extended conflict finally comes to an end with RRQ being the victors. The rotation was correct from Lost. They just did it at the wrong time. They did not expect RRQ to be there. And RRQ, I'm convinced that was their binoculars, pinging out the whole team of Lost right before the move towards that silo. And with that, RRQ, they have 6
ভাই
points
আসলে এরা তো
counting,
লাগতেছে
full
শুধু
squad available, resources
এখনো দেখা যাক 3 নম্বর দিন চলে আসে ও তো এখন দেখেন পুরো 10টা রেঞ্জ 40টা লাইভ এখনো আছে দেখা যাক গাইস কারা কি খেলে এবং কারা কত সুন্দর গেম প্লেটা উপহার দেয় আমাদের দেখা যাক গাইস দেখা যাক
Looking for the high ground.
লস এবং পেন দুইটা টিমই চলে গেছে যে তাদের গন্তব্যস্থান লবিতে
Luckier can you get Indonesia?
ওরে
And
ভাই,
RRQ
VIP
settling the fight they lost
king.
so early on here. And look at Buriram. This is why they didn't
English
want to go in
হয়েছে,
there for
দেখা
the
যাক
hunt.
guys.
The read of the circle once again perfect from this Thai squad. But now
কিন্তু ভাই
they'll have to deal
ফেলকনরা
with
প্রথমে
one of
অনেক
the
মার
deadliest
খাইছে
predators
বাট
out there,
তারপরে ওরা
courtesy of
ব্যাক করে চলে গেছে
Indonesia.
এবং আমাদের টিমমেটদের
RRQ Kazu on
রিভাইভ দিয়ে
rotation.
তারা
And
এখন
now
আবার
there's just a
কামব্যাক
little bit of
করেছে দেখা যাক ওরা
overlap
কি
between these two
করে
tigers.
একটা কিল
Knowing
করেছে
RRQ,
ওরা
I
দেখা
think
যাক
when they are on this high, when they feel like they have the momentum,
কিল পয়েন্টের
RRQ is
সবার
not
উপরে
going to
আছে
shy away.
RRQ
In fact,
6
they
কিল
have
বিআইটি 5
completely
কিল
done a
ইভোস
180
টিম
of how
2
they used
কিল
to
এন্ড
play from the days of good old
6
Sergeant
number team,
Legolas, like to play slow
Agal,
and tactical. Right
4
now,
kill.
with Abai leading the
ফেলকন
charge,
করেছে
the
1 কিল এবং
Prodigy,
বাকি
current
তিনটা
captain,
টিম
I think they're
বুড়িরাম
ready to really duke it out.
বিআরজি
But
এবং
Dragon
এফএক্স
Esports, not so
3টা
lucky.
0 কিল
They
দেখা যাক
managed to
গাইস
keep
দেখা যাক
Yeah, man. I mean, this has to be a miracle here. If Dragons can pull this off cleanly up against EVOS, but I highly doubt it. Now, one bright side is you don't have Rasya sitting down far away, aiming down at your head. He's the first one that gets tagged up. But you do have to fear the capability of Aim God in these close quarters combat with the M590 in his hands. Surprisingly, he was not going up here for an aggressive fight onto the top floor. They're just biding their time, waiting downstairs, wondering if or not Dragons will come
প্ল্যান্টেশনের
knocking.
ভেন্ডিং এর এই জায়গায় দুইটা স্কোয়াড উপরে একটা তো নিচে একটা ভাই দেখা যাক দেখা যাক দেখা যাক কারা কি করে কারা এই ক্লোজ ফাইটে বের করতে পারে গাইস কারা এই ক্লোজ ফাইটে বের করতে পারে দেখা যাক
Usually,
দেখা যাক, দেখা
those
যাক।
at the ground floor can't afford to wait. And in this case, EVOS, they don't mind waiting. There's no rush back. They can just keep getting intel onto Dragon Esports every now and then.
Also brilliant positioning coming through from Dragon Esports, and this is why they've been able to survive time and time again.
এখন
Their
পুরা
rotations
একটা
are always
জাকানাকা
looking
gameplay
for
হইবে।
that vending machine, and they have hit so many revives in the competition so far. I'm sure if we pulled up the numbers, we will see them as the champions of revivals. Of course, speaking of champions, your two-time world champs look so on
প্ল্যান্টেশনের
standby
ভেন্ডিং এর
here,
জায়গায় যে
ready to
দুইটা
be the
স্কোয়াড
third party in a
জোন
party
থেকে
they
ওদের
were not even
সেই লেভেলের
invited
একটা
to.
মাইর
The
ফেরা দিবে
Dinoculus
এবং
scanning
ওরা
out
কি
4
দুইটাই মনে হয়
players.
জোনের ওই জায়গায় ওরা ফাইট করে ওদের মিনিমাইজ করবে এবং কি জোন থেকে ওদের মারা
Once
হবে
again, the read of the circle, perfection out of Buriram.
দেখতে পাচ্ছেন গাইস বিমাশল তিতে তিনটা স্কোয়াড এবং কি প্ল্যান্টেশনের ভেন্ডিং এর দুইটা স্কোয়াড উপরে এবং নিচে হোল্ড করতেছে আমার যতটুকু মনে হইতেছে গাইস যে ভিতর থেকে জোনের ভিতর থেকে ওদের প্রচুর লেভেলে হিট দেওয়া হবে এবং দুইটা স্কোয়াড ওই জায়গায় শেষ হয়ে যাবে দেখা যাক এই তো নিজের স্কোয়াডটা রাশ দিয়ে দিচ্ছে দেখা যাক গাইস দেখা যাক কি হয় ও ভাই সেই লেভেলের এদিকে আবার বিমাশল তিতে একজন একটা টিম এফএক্স টিম রাশ দিয়ে দিচ্ছে বুড়িরামদের উপর দেখা যাক দেখা যাক এই তো গাইস ফাইটে লেগে গেছে ওরে শালার অস্থির ফাইট
They don't want to go down that
No,
early, but
guys,
the
no,
numbers
no,
are
no.
definitely falling down
যে
to
দেখেন
one
এটা আবার
v one.
দিচ্ছে এই তো
One behind. Evo
শেষ
saved by Ray.
জিআরজি টিম
Sifu, instead of
চলে গেছে
using
যে
the
লবিতে
blue
এবং
wall to
ইভোস টিমের
prop
দুইটা
up and
নকডাউন
inflict
আছিল
damage
ওরা
and
আবার
pick up
রিভাইভ
his
দিয়ে
body
দিচ্ছে এবং
went
ভেন্ডিং
forward.
যেহেতু পাশে আছে ওরা ওদের
Instead
টিমমেটে
paid
ডিফেন্সের
a
জন্য
high
কভার
price
করবে মনে
for
হয়
it. And now the grenade, no follow-up earlier on, but it has given enough time for RRQ to play the recovery. Time turner on top of everything else. Pulled out as well, just in case anything
কি
was to
লেভেলের
happen
মাইকটা
from
হইতেছে
those
গাইস
windows.
দেখতে
We'll
পাচ্ছেন
see some action. Dudes gets a grenade onto Pop, and Buriram cleans up house, and the victims are the Indonesians RRQ.
আবার কি উড়াল দিতে লেগেছে গাইস, দেখা যাক
A bit of a chip damage.
Then
Gio actually
finally
stolen away by
let's
Q from AJL. Finally joins the party.
12 কোটি টাকা কার পকেটে চলে যায় আর কারা কান্না করে ঘরে চলে যায়, দেখা যাক দেখা যাক দেখা যাক।
Fighting against Vitality, and Evo completely outnumbered. Vitality, they just need to be patient and
ও ভাই
surgical.
আজকের ম্যাচটা
Cold
ফেলকনদের
memory
জন্য
is
একবার
quite the
ভালো
off-screen,
দিয়েছে না,
but
মাত্র
Evo
একটা
somehow
কিল
is
করতে এবং
holding on dang well.
ভাই
Only two.
শেষ ফেলকনদের ফিনিশ করে দেওয়া হবে।
A little bit of advantage of that chaos there, hitting
কেমনে
away
কি
at
ফেলকনের
both
তো
squads,
মনে
walking
হয়
away with the most
ইনজেকশন
points
ছিল
of
ভাই,
the
এই জন্য ইনজেকশনটা
Indonesians.
মারা দিতে
Thailand
গেছে।
smiling
শুধু আগার টিম
here
এবং
at this point of
বুড়িরামরা
time.
পুরা 4 জন আছে এবং
as well as
25 টিমের
Buriram,
বাকি
but it's
টিম
not over
একজন
till
দুইজন
it's
করে
over.
আছে।
EVOS
দেখা যাক
players up
দেখা যাক
against
তারা
Kocha,
কি
but both
খেললে
squads need to be very wary
নিজেদের
of
টিমের জন্য
AJL
গাইস,
and their
দেখা
position.
যাক।
The circle now forcing all three squads to move inch by inch. Nobody wants to sit in the open circle just yet.
Only two teams have a full squad alive, BRU and AJL. Evo is trying to circle Koja, coming for the pincer maneuver. Koja takes a 1v1, and that's step number
Oh,
one. The
bhai,
execution
maximum
confirms the
jata jata
elimination.
confirm
Koja
karo
only has to deal with Kochu, and things are not
Hello,
looking good.
teammate
At least not for
ki
Koja.
karo
He's gonna try to
ki
navigate the blue
parlam
zone.
na.
Couple of blue walls left. That's the last reserve that he has. Same for Kochu, both on the last place. But blue wall melter from AJL. The Indonesians might just fall victim to the ties.
Yeah, Coach Hill looking at Kocha, but ADL showing up just in time to knock Coach Hill down onto the ground. Koja will be ripped away by Moshi. And Thailand will stand strong in the final
ও
circle.
ভাই 4v4 এর
This
একটা
renewed
ক্লাস,
map
দেখা যাক কারা
belongs
জিতে।
to
দুইটা টিম
Southeast
4 জন
Asia.
4 জন করে বাইক আছে,
ADL
দেখা
and
যাক
Buriram
গাইস, দেখা
both
যাক।
proving that. Fluxo falling out in third, surviving long enough. But Buriram looking for the absolute shutdown.
আরে ভাই,
Sniper
এরা
taken
কি
away from
হাসি দেখাই
AJL.
দিয়েছে।
Chinoy, down you go, they say. But Chinoy just standing up long enough to get a knock.
এ ভাই বুড়িরামরা
Starting things off hot here.
হয়ে গেল
Question is, can they keep
তো এই
up
ম্যাচটা
this
ফেলকনদের জন্য
momentum
একেবারে খারাপ গেছে এবং ইনভার্স টিমের জন্য দুটো টিমই একটা বাজে অবস্থা, বাজে সিচুয়েশনে পুরো ম্যাচটা গেল, যেটা আসলে একেবারে বলার বাইরে।
that even if they are not, they will make themselves known. And this Booyah is going to give them heck of a head start. 12 eliminations plus the Booyah, that's 20 more points, and they are already a quarter of the way there to unlocking Champion Rush.
AGL so sneaky, man. I mean,
24 points
taking
are the
best
team
use
that
of
count
the
for
position that they had
anything
on that
that
high
they
ground,
have.
spotting out the battle between EVOS and Vitality, taking advantage by being the third party. But I tell you, massive points picked up here by the Southeast Asian teams. And of course, we saw Brazil try to catch up. Fluxo did get into the final circle, but we